All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and start recording. Let me mute everyone out just so that I don't hear any feedback. All right, guys. So it's Thursday night. Welcome to the call. Tonight we're going to be talking about why can't I get my shit together. It's going to be lots of fun. I really liked how Ashley voted for that because I've been feeling that way myself a lot of days. So this will be really fun for us to all figure out how to get our shit together. So I want to start off with recognition. So raise your hand if you rank advanced this week or you had someone on your team rank advanced this week. I know Jamie had someone. If you're driving, do not raise your hand because I don't want you to crash. Also raise your hand if you have Success Club points or if you're already in Success Club. Woo, get it. Cool. All right, so we still have like a week left, so we can all still do it. We gotta get out there and help people. And then welcome to any new coaches that are on here. Taylor, she's one of my new coaches. Welcome to anyone else. Raise your hand, or well, we can only see one person. We can see Shantae. But welcome to any new coaches that are on here listening to the recording. So tonight, like I said, we're gonna talk about why can't I get my shit together? And this is a topic, I'm really glad Ashley asked me to speak about it because I know that I shared with you guys, like when I made the video on the team page a couple weeks ago or whenever that was, that I've been struggling myself since I moved and just going through a lot of emotions and trying to figure shit out. So I'm going to talk about a few things tonight. I'm going to talk about the first thing is what's causing us to not be able to get our shit together, how to get our shit together, and then I'm going to go into talking about this book that forever changed my life, and it's called The Desire Map. And then we're going to dive into that a little bit more and go through some ways on how we can get the feelings that we're desiring and how to persevere. So to start out, I just tried to think of like different things, and Taylor helped me with this because she's awesome, yay. So I just tried to think of different things of like, why can't we get our shit together? Like what causes us to feel this way? What causes us to wake up and like feel like, oh, I can't do this. I don't believe in myself. I don't feel like doing anything today. I'm never going to be successful. What makes us feel this way? So I think the thing first and foremost, and I talk about this all the time, is you're lacking belief in yourself. I know I literally say this on every single team call, but when I went to Tony Robbins, it changed my life forever. And Tony Robbins says that success in any area of your life comes down to 80% belief and 20% action. So like when I heard that, my mind was blown because I know a lot of you guys have heard this before about my story of, coaching, but oh God, excuse me. Apples always make me burp because I'm not hot. When I became a coach, I didn't believe in myself. Like there's so many things that I've gone through in my life that caused me to have like low self-confidence or not believe in myself. So my first like 9 months of my business, I didn't do much because I didn't believe in myself. Then I started to believe a little bit more. So I started working and things were happening, but they weren't happening how I wanted them to happen or how I knew that I was capable of making them happen. And the thing is that I was putting in the actions and I was doing the right steps. I was inviting people. I was doing my personal development. I was doing my workouts, doing all the 3 vital behaviors, but I didn't believe that I could be successful. I just looked at myself as who I used to be, and I didn't think that I could do it or I could have it, or I cared too much about what other people thought. So I didn't believe truly in what I was doing, if you put it that way. So when I heard this at Tony Robbins, I started implementing things into my life, which I'll talk to you guys about at the end of the call, of how you can start believing in yourself more. And believe me, I've still had days now since I moved here, I've been a hot freaking mess. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to lead all these people? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I suck. It's never going to be perfect. We're human beings. But the more we can work on our mindset and managing our emotions, the easier it will become. So that could be the first reason of why you can't get your shit together is we are lacking belief. And just know that when I'm saying these things, I'm not saying like you guys can't get your shit together. Like we all are having troubles getting our shit together because we're human beings. So the second thing could be is that you're focusing on the wrong things. I know I talk about The Secret all the time. It's a book and a movie. It's only like an hour long if you watch it on YouTube, but this is something that happened last year at the same time with Tony Robbins that also radically changed my life. I watched The Secret, and it's one thing that like I would complain about, and like raise your hand if you complain about the stuff in life that sucks. Okay, I do it too. Like it happens to all of us. We're freaking humans. But what we focus on is what we get. And I was focused so much on all the debt that I had last year. I had like $40,000 of debt. And then I saw The Secret, and it was talking about like what you focus on, you're going to get more of. So you have to like focus on the right things. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. And then I realized like I kept having more debt and not being able to pay off my debt because that's all I focused on was the debt. So the moment that I read Think and Grow Rich as well, which I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. The moment that all those things happened and I started working on my mindset and focusing on what I wanted, then things really started to change. And I've even had to force myself to do that now since I moved here, because I'll notice every little thing. Like, oh my gosh, I don't have that much furniture yet. Like, my apartment sucks. I don't like my surroundings right now. I look fat today. Like, all of these things that I've been struggling with. But I have to like, and I still do it some days, but then I have to correct myself and be like, okay, focus on what is going well right now and you'll get more of that. So that could be the second thing of what's causing it. And I will tell you guys, like when I changed my mindset and started focusing on paying off debt, I was able to pay off $40,000 of debt. Like last year around this time, I still had all that debt. So it just goes to show you, that's not to brag, it's just to show you that what you focus on, you're going to get. The third thing would be doubting your results. Like working hard, like you put in all the work and you're not getting the results. Kind of like what I said a minute ago about how I was in the beginning with this business. Like I was putting in the work, but nothing was happening. So a lot of times we'll hold ourselves back from actually doing anything because we doubt that we're going to get the desired results that we achieve. So I'm just going to go through the rest of the list kind of quickly because I want to get into the desire map. But other reasons of what's causing it could be you're afraid of success or you're afraid of failing. You have low self-confidence. You don't love yourself yet. It could be your environment. You care too much about what others think. You feel lethargic. You're basing your happiness on exterior things. You're avoiding dealing with something that you need to process emotionally and have not, which I'll talk more about that in a little bit. Excuse me. Your why isn't powerful enough, or you're not getting your core desired feelings, which all of those things I'm going to talk a little bit more about. So those are just some reasons of what could be causing it. And I'll go through that again one more time just in case. Lacking belief, focusing on the wrong things, doubting your results, afraid of success or failure, low self-confidence. This is a long list. You don't love yourself yet, your environment, you care too much about what others think, lethargic feelings, you're basing your happiness on exterior things, or even things that are out of your control. You're avoiding dealing with something that you need to process emotionally and haven't. Your why isn't powerful enough, or you're not getting your core desired feelings. So you guys are probably like, okay, Jessica, well, I probably already know like what I'm struggling with. So how the heck can I get my shit together? So don't worry, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to give you guys, this is a pretty long list too, of ways that you can start getting your shit together and start feeling happier. So the first thing would be to do daily affirmations. So I know most of you guys aren't on video, but you can type in the chat box or raise your hand if you are on video if you do daily affirmations. And I do them and I still struggle sometimes, but I promise you that they do help a lot. So a daily affirmation is basically saying whatever your desired result or your goal or whatever it may be is, but saying it out loud in present tense and doing it in the morning and at night. And when you do it, it works a lot more effectively if you can like close your eyes and like visualize it. And I wasn't going to mention this, but vision boards are something that can help as well when it comes to attracting in whatever it is that you're looking for. So whatever your goal may be, you can do however many affirmations that you want, but you want to say it out loud. So like if you want to lose 20 pounds and you weigh 150 pounds right now, maybe you would say out loud, I weigh 130 pounds. Or if you want to be a diamond coach, maybe you say out loud in present tense, I am a diamond coach. So Think and Grow Rich is a book that discusses this more, but this is something that I started doing at the end of the year that really helped change everything for me. And the thing of why it works is, isn't it subconscious mind? Your subconscious mind? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So your subconscious mind, I believe I'm explaining this right, it doesn't know whether or not something's real. So when you're saying this, I'm probably not making any sense, but when you're saying it out loud, okay, when you're saying it out loud over and over and over, you're going to start attracting the things in to help you get there because your subconscious mind doesn't know that you actually haven't gotten it yet. So once you start saying it, you're going to attract in the things that will help you get it. So that's one thing. Another thing would be adding in prayer and meditation. I had been doing daily prayer, but meditation was something I just started doing. And it was very difficult for me to turn my mind off and to sit still. But I promise you that this is something that will change your life if you can just do it. And like, just know that when you do it, there's going to be thoughts that go all across your mind, and you're going to think of everything that you weren't thinking of like 5 minutes before. But just, what's the name of the book that talks more about daily affirmations? Think and Grow Rich. You can do it audio too. That's how I did it, was audio. But yeah, meditation, like just try to shut your mind off as much as possible and focus on what your intentions are and what you want to attract into your life. And it helps, like, oh, I know what I was going to say. Like, I used to have just like, and I still struggle with anxious thoughts and like just feeling like my mind is all over the place. But if I meditate every day, which I didn't do today, usually I do it, I tend to be able to deal with those thoughts a lot better. And it helps calm my mind a lot. So another thing would be journaling or note taking. So just writing down things that you're feeling with or what emotions you have. Is this something that you do?
I do. Yeah, no, I do like journaling. So like if I'm having a bad day or like I'm feeling like things aren't where I should be, then I'll do journaling and just write down like I'll do 2 separate like goals and then what I need to get to those goals. Sometimes if I'm having a really bad day, I'll put like all the things that are going wrong, and then I'll make another page like how to fix those things.
Oh, I like that.
Which is cool.
That's awesome. I like that idea.
I brought that up earlier.
Yeah, I was asking her because she gave me that idea earlier. But gratitude, I didn't put this on our list. Gratitude is something else that can help with that too. Kind of, it's basically what she just said. It made me think of it, like thinking about all the things that are going well and the things that you're grateful for. Because again, back to the secret, whatever you focus on, you'll attract more of that in. So another thing would be personal development, which I know we talk about all the time. It's one of our 3 vital behaviors, but selecting personal development that's focused specifically on what you're going through. So we actually just uploaded, Hattie uploaded it this week, I think it was, to our team page. If you go into the files section, there's a whole list. I'll screen share real quick so you guys can see it. There's a whole list of different books that you can read based on whatever it is that you want to focus on improving. So maybe it's confidence, maybe it's you need more belief, maybe you want to learn how to attract more wealth into your life. It's right here. It's the first document, recommended PD list. So there's a bunch of different recommendations on here. Like it'll take you a long time to read all these books. So I've read tons of these books on here. Mindset, daily discipline, and time management. Most of these are about network marketing, building relationships, social media, goal setting, leadership, nutrition, and clean eating. Confidence. So, okay, those are the same things. But yeah, those are different things that you can do because it is all about building the right mindset. Another thing is exercise, of course, which is another one of our 3 vital behaviors. Like I know when I don't exercise, I feel like crap, or like I can't, like when I go on a run, it clears my head. And I just like all the endorphins that are released, there's so many benefits to exercise. So that's definitely something else. And even if it's only like doing jumping jacks for like a minute or like going on a walk for 10 minutes, like just get something in. It'll make you feel a lot better. Another thing is hydration and proper nutrition, which is something Taylor brought up. She's awesome. And it's so true. Like I know that like when I first moved here, I would like go to the beach every day, and I love the beach, but like I wouldn't bring enough water with me, and I wouldn't have enough food, and I would like be like a crazy bitch because I like wanted to kill everybody because I didn't have the fuel that I needed, and I was getting grumpy. So it's crazy. Like it's definitely something that can really affect you if you don't have enough water or eat the right foods. Also, sunshine is something that can help too, for sure. Making progress daily. This would be just doing like small things every day, even if it's something as small as like making sure you get enough water that day. Focus on one change at a time. Like when I first moved here, it was definitely overwhelming because I was literally like, I basically have to start over in every area of my life. Like I have to find furniture. I have to figure out the areas that I go. Like this is a brand new beginning. And I felt very overwhelmed at first. So I decided that I would first focus on my nutrition because I know that if my nutrition is right, then even if I don't get to work out every day, then I'm going to see results. So what I like, and with me doing the Ultimate Reset, I was getting really bad at meal prepping. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this Ultimate Reset for 21 days. And my goal is to every day prep my meals so that way I can get back into a good habit. And then also with that, making progress is setting your goals. Setting your goals, whether you want to set your goal for the year and break it down, or you want to set your goals for the week and break it down. You can set a goal of whatever you want to achieve by the end of the week and then break it down into a daily goal. Or maybe your daily goal is to just do your power hour or do your 3 vital behaviors. Like maybe you're in such a rough place right now where that's all you can do. I understand. I've been struggling with that myself since I've moved here. So just it helps you to not overwhelm yourself so much if you don't think you have to work on all these things and do all these things. So setting goals and breaking it down and making progress daily is something that can help. Also surrounding yourself with positive people, considering a life coach or therapist or talking it out with a loved one. That always helps me to talk it out, because when it's all in, like I tend to, what is that? Oh. I tend to bottle stuff in when I'm going through stuff because I don't want to burden people by talking to them about stuff. But when I let it out, like to someone that, and you don't want to do this to anybody, like you want to do this to someone that is close to you, that really cares about you. And after I do that, I always feel so much better. And praise Taylor, like she is so awesome. Bless her heart. Like I have like been venting to her since I moved here, and I'm like, Taylor, I promise I'm not always this like down or whatever, but so it helps so much to like have someone. So thank you for listening. And she always like gives a positive spin on everything too. So it's definitely helpful. Yeah, it helps to have people around like that. Also focus on your why. Like, why are you going after certain goals? Make it so powerful. I know I talk about this in our coach training, but you have to make it so powerful that it makes you want to cry. And I'm still every day trying to figure out exactly what my why is right now. I mean, your why is going to change over time. When I first started this, all I wanted to do was help people. And then when I found out I could quit my job, I wanted to quit my job. And then after I quit my job, I had to keep making different whys. But I ask you something so powerful that you're going to keep going every day, even if it's tough. And maybe even if it's not every day, like you're still consistent with it on a weekly basis, because we all have days where we need to focus on ourselves. But you're not going to feel motivated to do anything if you don't know why you're doing it, or if it's just for something like, oh, I want to fit in these pants. Like, yeah, that will motivate you for a certain time, but to really make the lifestyle change, like you have to have something powerful. And then the next thing would be to figure out what your core desired feelings are, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So I feel like I'm talking really fast, and I'm used to a bunch of people being on here that I can see, but I want you guys to just share with me real quick before we move on to the next thing in the chat box, which one of these things stood out to you the most that you feel like you either haven't been doing or you're going to start implementing. I'll share first since I'm unmuted, but I know like for me, getting some sunshine is something that I'm going to start doing more of, and like being around people more, because when I'm going through stuff, I do think that there are times we need to be by ourselves, but I also think that sometimes we can isolate ourselves and like stay inside, because I've done that like many times since I moved here. So today, like Taylor texted me and I was like, okay, like yes, pool time, friend time, yes, this is what I need. So like for me, that's something I'm going to start trying to get like, or not, I'm not going to try to get better at it. I will get better at it. I'm going to implement that. So if you guys have your biggest takeaway, share it in the chat box. Do you want to share anything, Taylor? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I mean, it's all still super new for me, so I haven't done any of like the social media connecting or inviting or anything yet, but I just personally like to see how you share like little bits of yourself and positivity, even though like I know like you're texting me like I'm not having a good day, today's not a good day, but you're still on there sharing like, hey, I know, right? Like, hey. But you're still on there, like basically sharing, these are the 3 things that have made today awesome. Or this is what I'm thankful for. So I really liked that. I think I'm going to start doing something like that, because I wake up sometimes and I'm like, oh, today sucks.
Oh my God, I do too. And like when I do, I feel like I'm like, no one's on there to see me, but well, they can see me, but I can't see them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like one thing that I do, like literally I do it before I get out of bed, and sometimes it doesn't help as much. Most of the time it does. Like if I can just like,
for the most part,
yeah. But I'll like before I get out of bed, I'll just say like thank you over and over, and then I'll just say like 3 things out loud that I'm thankful for. But they have to be different each day.
Okay.
Then I start
Mix it up.
Yeah, focusing on different stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked that. I like it. Okay, cool. So if you guys think of anything, feel free to type in the chat box. Don't be embarrassed. So now I want to talk to you guys about your core desired feelings, because what may be happening is that you aren't getting the feelings that you felt like you would get from whatever it is that you're working towards. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like you might be doing something and your expectations, like what is the word I'm looking for? Like whatever your expectations were, you actually get to do it and you're not feeling the way you thought you would feel. So earlier this year, I read this book called The Desire Map, and it talks about how the reason why we set goals in our life is because we think it's going to give us a desire, or we think it's going to give us a certain feeling. And say we make a goal to lose 20 pounds. So maybe we make that goal because we'll feel light, or we'll feel confident, or we'll feel hot, or we'll feel whatever. So it's not actually about the goal itself. It's about what you want to feel. I know I've made goals in my business and my life that I thought it would feel a certain way once I achieved it. And then I was just like, oh, like, this is it? Like, okay. Like, I celebrated for like a day, and then I was just like, oh. But the thing is like, I wasn't clear enough on what I wanted to feel. And you're going to feel like you're struggling. We're all going to struggle, even if we're clear on these things. But you're going to feel like more of a struggle bus and feel like you can't get your shit together if you're not clear on what you want. So I went on to the lady that wrote this book. Her name is Danielle LaPorte, and I'll type it in the chat box. But I went onto her website before I got onto the call, and there's just a couple things that she talked about that stood out to me that I wanted to just mention to you guys. And this is all in her writing. This is not me. But she said, what if first we got clear on how we actually wanted to feel in our life, and then we laid out our intentions? Excuse me. What if your most desired feelings consciously informed how you plan your day, your year, your career, your holidays, and your life? And I was just like, whoa. Like, Taylor saw it too, and we were like, whoa, that's crazy. And then she also says, when you get clear on your core desired feelings, decisions will be easier to make. You'll know what to say no to. Thank you to
What to say no to. Thank you to.
Oh, okay. You'll know what to say. Thank you. You'll know what to say no to and thank you to, and what to say hell yes to. I bet you'll complain complain less. You'll be more optimistic, more open-hearted. It will be easier for you to return to your center in the midst of a challenge, I promise. And then she said, you will do much less proving and way more living. And I like read that, and I was like, holy shit. I remember when I read this book, I realized a lot of the goals that I were making was because I was trying to prove myself, and I'm just being real. Like, Taylor and I were talking about this earlier. Like, I don't really give a shit what people think most of the time, but I think because of what I went through in high school and being made fun of, I feel like I have to like prove like, oh, look at what I'm doing now. I don't know, it's stupid. I'm just being real.
No, we all
But then I'm like, okay, I'm making these goals for other people, and it's not their life, it's my life. So, and exactly what she said, like when I got clear last year that I wanted our team to be an elite team, I said no to basically everything. I made a lot of sacrifices, but I didn't care because it was worth it to me. So when you know what you want, it'll make it a lot easier in every area of your life. So I'm going to go through it's 5 different ways on how you find what your core desired feelings are. And I really highly recommend that you guys get on her website, get her book. It's freaking amazing. She has like a workbook. Half of the book is basically a workbook where she asks you specific questions, and it's to help you figure out what your core desired feelings are. So the first thing would be is you want to think about how you want to feel in each area of your life. So there's 4 different areas of your life that she talks about. The first would be your livelihood and lifestyle. So that's like what your business is, like what you're doing for your career, how you're living, like what type of place you live in, your clothes, different things like that. The second thing is your relationships in society. So who you surround yourself with, your family, your friends, stuff like that. The third thing is creativity and learning. So this would be like having creative outlets, like whether it's like going to paint, whether it's writing poems, writing a book, and learning would be, of course, like reading books, going to conferences, listening to audio, stuff like that. And then the fourth area is your body and your wellness. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So you want to look at these 4 different areas and think about how you want to feel in each area. And she gives you some different feelings or ideas. Actually, I have it on Pinterest. Let me screenshot. I just remembered this. So if you go to her website, she has something, and I'll just show you guys my Pinterest board. I have a Pinterest board of what all my core desired feelings are. And I'll just show you guys what mine are so you can get some ideas. But the reason you want to do this is because then you can make goals based on what your core desired feelings are. That way you'll know that when you're working towards it, once you achieve it, you'll feel that way. So some of mine are freedom, love, radiant, joy, magical, abundance, clarity, inspired, beauty, shine, unity, aligned, harmony, and infinite. But my top one is freedom. So that's why I don't really like pants. That's why I don't really like people to tell me what to do. That's why I don't really like to follow things that put me in a box, because I want to feel free in every area. So those are just some ideas to give you guys. And the second thing, once you do this, like just start writing shit down. Like just literally like dump your mind onto a piece of paper and go through each area of your life. Then once you do that, the second thing to do is to get inside the words and look up the definitions of what you wrote down. That way you can get more specific on what the meaning is of each of them. The third thing is to make your first picks and then go back to your ramble of words and circle the ones that resonate with you the most. This is something that was kind of hard for me because I'm like, well, I want to feel all of these things. But like when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, I really want to feel free the most out of everything. So just go with what your gut says. Don't overthink it too much. The fourth thing is to recognize patterns and prepare to home in. And that's her words. But it's basically looking at, because when I did the different areas, freedom was something that I wanted in every single area. And when you pick those patterns, then that's going to help you realize like, okay, that's one of my top core desired feelings. And then the last thing would be is to make your final picks and to choose your 3 to 5 and then shine on, she says. So you want to have 3 to 5 in total, because then when you're making your goals about what you want in your life, then you can be like, okay, is this goal going to make me feel free? No, so I don't want to do it. That's what I have to ask myself. So I'll go through them again real quick. The first thing is, how do you want to feel in each area? Look up the definitions is number 2. Number 3 is make your first picks and then go back and circle the ones that resonate most. Number 4 is to recognize patterns. And the 5th one is to pick your final 3 to 5. So let me know if you guys have any questions as I keep talking through the rest of this. And if you guys want to share, type in the chat box of what your core desired feelings are in any area of your life. Mine's freedom, like I said. Taylor, do you have any that resonated with you or stuck out to you or that you think about? Keep putting you on the spot.
I like the freedom. I like freedom too. I want to be able to have that in every aspect of my life.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
There is another one, like for me, another one of mine is light. So like, I'm going to go through the list, like livelihood and lifestyle. Like I want to feel like I'm shining a light to people to help people.
Yeah.
And then with relationships, I want to feel like I have like light, fun, loving relationships. With creativity, I want to feel like I'm learning things that make my light shine brighter. And then with body and wellness, I want to feel like light, like I don't feel like weighed down or, lifted stuff. Yeah. So those are just some ways for me. And if you guys don't want to share, it's okay. But if you think of something, then type in the chat box. So to end the call with, I want to just go through a couple more things now that we talked about the desire map and different ways that you can start, different things you can implement into your life to start to get your shit together. And just know that it's a daily process. Every day is going to be different. Some days you're going to feel on top of the world, and the next day you're going to be on the struggle bus. And that's part of being human. So just know that you're not the only one that's going through it. Like we all go through it, no matter who we are, what we've achieved, whatever. So I want to talk a little bit about persevering. Because oftentimes when we feel like we can't get our shit together, we want to give up. We want to quit. Honestly, there's many times when I first started this business where I wanted to quit because I was like not getting the results that I wanted. I didn't believe in myself. Like I thought that I was not a salesperson. I sucked at this. Like I'm never going to get what I want. But I didn't quit because I was committed to my why. And I knew that I wanted to feel free. And I didn't know what the desire map was back then, but I knew that I wanted to feel free. So I kept working towards it. So it's important to keep persevering even when we have those hard times, because no matter who you are in this business, I know the top 10 coaches all talked about, I forget which conference I was at, but Melanie Mitro, who was the top coach last year, told us, I think it was at the leadership conference last year, she said that she was worried one month she wouldn't even get Success Club. So just know that we all go through this. So, but the whole point is, I forget what that quote is, but it goes something like, you never fail until you quit, or something like that. So just know, I want to give you guys a couple of things in this area of persevering. You have to keep going when people tell you no, because people are going to tell you no. They tell everyone no. They tell Amy Silverman no. They tell Melanie Mitro no. They tell me no. No matter who you are, how long you've been doing this, people will tell you no. People tell me no all the time, and this business isn't for everybody. People usually say no because they don't understand it enough. They don't know enough about it. They don't believe in it enough. That's a whole separate team call, so we won't get into that. But just know that I have so many thoughts right now. Just know that there's nothing wrong with you if people tell you no. You have to keep going. And a really great book, I talk about this all the time too, that you can read if you're struggling with people telling you no. You have to disconnect your emotions from the outcome. And a book that's really good is called Go for No. I don't really like to read, but I do it anyway. And this book is like this big. I guess if you guys aren't on video, you can't see it, but it's like 70 pages. It's such a quick read. Super helped me in that area. This is something I just said, but you have to disconnect your emotions from the outcome in the process and just know that you're going to have coaches that sign up and quit. You're going to have people that tell you no. You're going to have people that you help rank advance and they lose their rank. You will lose your rank as well. Like it's happened to me. It happens to all of us. But you have to realize that all you can do is control the controllable. And guess what the things that we can control are? Doing the 3 vital behaviors every day and making sure that we're talking to enough people. And we can't control if someone signs up. We can't control if someone says yes to us. We can't control if our team rank advances. All we can do is control what we can control within ourselves. Another thing that I just want to mention, and I've talked about this several times, when you're persevering and it gets tough, you have to remember why you're doing it. And you have to keep that in front of you at all times. So I don't know if you guys noticed this, and you probably have from when I share my screen on other calls, but this is my background. This is my vision board. Like these are things that I'm working on and I'm visualizing, and that's keeping me going for why I'm doing this. No, I don't have my shit together every single day. And some days I might have days where I need a day to myself and I don't work. But when you have what you want and you're focusing on it right in front of you and it's there all the time, then it helps you to keep persevering. And like I said, just know that not every day is going to be perfect. It's okay to have bad days. Like we all have bad days. I've had many bad days where I just get too into my head, or like, I really think that with me moving here, like I've had to, it's like starting over, and it's very uncomfortable and it's growth and it's all these things. But what I've learned is that you have to accept those feelings and you have to process them, because if you don't, then it won't go away. You have to figure out what the core root of the issue is that's going on. If you use things to mask it or cover it up, it will keep coming back. Believe me. Like, I know what I used to do is like I would used to get drunk every night to mask my feelings. I used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day to mask my feelings. I used to, and sometimes now what I do to mask my feelings is I binge watch Netflix. That's my struggle right now. I've even had times where I work out too much to make myself not think about stuff, or I eat too much. Yeah, sleep all day. Yeah, I sleep all day now, like, or I'll sleep for several hours, like if I just don't want to deal with it. But guess what? It might make you feel better right now, but it's going to keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. And what I've learned about myself is that what I have to do is be content with what I have right now and be grateful for what I have right now. Stop focusing on what I don't have. And I have to learn how to love myself again, because I had a lot of self-confidence before I moved out here. And then when I moved out here, it was almost like starting all over again. And I felt a lot better because at the last conference I was at, they actually said that like each different level that you get to, like once you achieve a goal, you have to start back over all over again because you're at a different level. So just know that it's normal and learn what's going on, because I'm never going to be happy in any area of life if I can't learn how to love myself. So a lot of what I'm focusing on more now is spending time with myself and taking a day off from work if I need to, because I can't be good for anyone else if I can't be good for myself. So taking time by yourself to journal, go outside, go to the beach, go in nature, talk to people that lift you up, talk to someone about what you're going through. It will help you get through all these things. So we have a few minutes left. And if you guys have any questions or any biggest takeaways that you had, feel free to type them in the chat box and I can answer them. But I want to give you guys, what is my computer telling me that? I want to give you guys a few action items on how you can implement what we talked about tonight in your business. Excuse me. So the first thing is to start a 5-minute meditation each morning and daily affirmations. So like I was saying earlier, I say my affirmations and my gratitude before I even get out of bed, because I've never been a person to like mornings. So to me, no matter what time I wake up, it's a struggle for me to get up. So I feel like saying those things before I get out of bed, it helps prepare me to get out of bed. It makes me more motivated to get up. So starting that, the second thing would be making a weekly goal and then breaking it down into something you're going to do daily, and then share that with your sponsor, with the team, or just reach out and ask us if you need help. And the third thing would be just different personal development recommendations to pick one of these things and then start that and implement that into your life. The first one would be the Desire Map. There's also The Secret, Think and Grow Rich, and then there's Tony Robbins audio in our Dropbox. If you go to the personal development folder, those 4 things were like the things that like radically changed my life this last year. And if it wasn't for those personal development things specifically, there's no way that I would have achieved what I've achieved in the last year, because it helped me get over myself and my fears, and it helped me believe in myself more. So I want to give you guys a closing quote, and then I'll see again if anyone has questions, and then we'll do a quick giveaway. So this closing quote, it came from Danielle Laporte, which is the author. I feel like I sound all raspy now. The author of the Desire Map. You're not chasing the goal itself. You're actually chasing a feeling. So I really liked that. So now real quick, we'll do a random drawing for a giveaway. So type in the chat box. If you're on the phone, I'll unmute you guys real quick that are on the phone. But for those of you not on the phone, type in the chat box a random number 1 through 100, and then we'll do a giveaway for a prize. And then I'll do a random number generator. One person got off the phone. I'm going to unmute the person on the phone that said 330 area code if you want to share your number. Hello? Are you there? Maybe not. Okay. Whoever is on the phone, if you don't have your audio on, just go ahead and type it in the team page, and I'll go check in there. 57725. Okay, I have one from Shantae, Mariah, Ina. There's a few of you other guys on here. What's your number, Taylor? 24. 24? Okay. I'm going to type that there just in case. Any other numbers? Any questions? Let me do a random number generator really quick. All right, 1 through 100. Okay, 52 is the winner. So we have a 45 and a 57. Wait, 45?
57 is closer.
You're right. Okay, yes, it is. Okay, so Shantae, you're the winner of the prize. I'll send you an audiobook. So just email me what email you would like me to send the audiobook to, and I'll get it out to you before the week is over. But for the rest of you guys, I love you all. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you have any other questions, type them in the team page when we're done. And I hope you guys all have a great night. Bye.